You wake up every morning with two choices. Stay controlled by fear, doubt, and weakness. Or rebuild your mind into something unshakable. These 7 Stoic morning lines will change the way you think forever. Subscribe now to Fortress of Mind, and begin mastering yourself before the world tries to master you. The first line is this: I control my mind. I do not control the world. Most people wake up already defeated. Not because life is hard, but because they begin the day focused on things outside their control. They think about people, money, stress, delays, problems, opinions, fear of failure. And before they even leave their bed, their peace is gone. The Stoics understood something most people never learn. Your suffering begins the moment you try to control what was never yours to control. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. That sentence alone can free a person from years of anxiety. Think about it carefully. You cannot control how people treat you. You cannot control traffic. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control betrayal. You cannot control rejection. You cannot control whether someone understands your value. But you can control your response. That is where power begins. A weak mind reacts emotionally to everything. A strong mind chooses discipline over reaction. Every morning, repeat this line. I control my mind. I do not control the world. Say it slowly. Because the moment you accept this truth, peace enters your life. The world becomes lighter. You stop wasting energy trying to force outcomes. You stop begging for validation. You stop fighting battles inside your head. And instead, you focus on your actions. This is what separates mentally strong people from emotionally exhausted people. Strong people conserve energy. Weak people scatter energy. One person spends the morning complaining. Another spends the morning preparing. One person wakes up angry at life. Another wakes up ready for battle. The Stoics train themselves daily to focus only on what belonged to them. Their thoughts, their discipline, their character, their choices. Everything else was secondary. Imagine how powerful your mornings would become if you stopped carrying the weight of things you cannot change. No more emotional dependence. No more panic. No more mental chaos. Only focus. Only clarity. Only action. Most people never experience inner peace because they keep negotiating with reality. They want life to obey them. But life does not obey anyone. Storms come. People leave. Plans fail. Pain arrives without permission. The Stoic does not collapse because of this. The Stoic adapts. Every morning is training. You are either training your mind toward strength or toward weakness. When something goes wrong today, remember this line again. I control my mind. I do not control the world. That sentence will save you from unnecessary suffering. The second line is this. Today I will face discomfort willingly. Modern people run from discomfort. That is why they remain weak. They avoid difficult conversations. They avoid discipline. They avoid pain. They avoid responsibility. They avoid silence. They avoid hard work. And slowly, avoidance destroys them. The Stoics believed discomfort was necessary. Not optional. Necessary. Because comfort creates dependency. Discomfort creates strength. Think about your life honestly. Every important transformation came from discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Healing is uncomfortable. Self-control is uncomfortable. But weakness is worse. A person addicted to comfort becomes fragile. The smallest inconvenience ruins their mood. The smallest criticism breaks their confidence. The smallest obstacle stops their progress. That is not strength. That is dependency disguised as comfort. Every morning, remind yourself. Today I will face discomfort willingly. That means you stop resisting difficulty. You embrace it. You go to the gym even when tired. You work even when unmotivated. You stay disciplined even when emotions scream otherwise. Because emotions cannot lead your life. Most people only act when they feel like it. The Stoics acted based on principle. That is why they were dangerous mentally. They trained themselves to function regardless of emotion. And this is rare today. People worship comfort. They want easy money. Easy success. Easy relationships. Easy growth. But life does not reward comfort. Life rewards endurance. Look around carefully. The strongest people you know suffered deeply. But instead of becoming bitter, they became disciplined. Pain sharpened them. Every difficult moment is an opportunity to build mental armor. And every time you willingly face discomfort, you become harder to break. Imagine waking up every morning ready for challenge instead of fearing it. That mindset alone changes everything. The Stoics would even prepare mentally for hardship before it arrived. Not because they were negative. Because they were prepared. Prepared minds suffer less. Unprepared minds panic. Most fear comes from lack of preparation. So every morning, prepare yourself mentally. Tell yourself, today may be difficult. But I am stronger than difficulty. That is Stoic strength. Not pretending life is easy. But becoming stronger than what life throws at you. The third line is this. I will not waste energy seeking approval. This line can change your entire identity. Most people are trapped emotionally because they live for validation. Everything they do is connected to approval. Approval from family. Approval from friends. Approval from strangers online. Approval from society. And because of this, they never become themselves. They become performers. They wear masks. The Stoics warned against this. Because the moment your happiness depends on approval, your freedom disappears. Now your emotions belong to other people. One compliment makes you happy. One criticism destroys your confidence. That is emotional slavery. A Stoic learns to stand alone mentally. Not because they hate people. But because they understand something important. People are inconsistent. Opinions change daily. Someone praises you today and criticizes you tomorrow. If your identity depends on public opinion, your peace will never last. Every morning repeat this. I will not waste energy seeking approval. This line reminds you to live according to your values, not according to applause. Most people betray themselves slowly. Not through one big decision. But through small acts of dishonesty. Pretending to agree. Pretending to fit in. Pretending to be someone else. The Stoic refuses this. Authenticity becomes strength. And here is the truth. The moment you stop chasing approval, people respect you more. Because confidence attracts respect naturally. Desperation repels it. A person comfortable with themselves radiates power. Not loud power. Quiet power. The kind of power that does not beg to be noticed. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that fame is temporary. Opinions fade. Crowds forget. So why sacrifice your peace for temporary validation? Most people destroy their mental health trying to impress people who are not even thinking about them. That is tragic. Wake up tomorrow and choose freedom instead. Do your work. Stay disciplined. Speak truthfully. Walk your path. And stop adjusting your soul for acceptance. The fourth line is this. I will meet every challenge with calmness. Calmness is power. Not aggression. Not noise. Not emotional explosions. True power is calmness under pressure. Anybody can remain calm when life is easy. But when things fall apart, character reveals itself. The Stoics trained for this daily. They understood that panic solves nothing. Fear clouds judgment. Emotion weakens decision-making. A calm mind sees clearly. Every morning, remind yourself. I will meet every challenge with calmness. This line prepares your nervous system before chaos begins. Because chaos will come. Someone will disrespect you. Something will fail. Unexpected problems will appear. That is life. But your response determines everything. Weak minds react instantly. Strong minds pause first. That pause changes outcomes. Imagine how different your life would become if you stopped reacting emotionally to everything. No unnecessary arguments. No impulsive decisions. No self-destruction. Only control. Only clarity. The Stoics believed emotional discipline was a form of freedom. Because if anger controls you, then you are not free. If fear controls you, then you are not free. Freedom begins with self-control. And self-control begins in the morning. The way you start your day shapes the way you handle pressure later. Feed your mind strength early. Do not wake up consuming negativity immediately. Most people begin mornings with distraction. Social media. Drama. Noise. Comparison. And then they wonder why their minds feel weak. Protect your mind. Your attention is valuable. A distracted mind becomes a weak mind. A focused mind becomes dangerous. The fifth line is this. I accept that hardship is part of life. This line removes unrealistic expectations. One reason people suffer deeply is because they expect life to be painless. But life has never promised comfort. The Stoics accepted this reality early. Pain is part of existence. Loss is part of existence. Failure is part of existence. Hardship is unavoidable. Once you accept this truth, suffering decreases. Because now difficulty no longer shocks you. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you begin asking, how do I grow through this? That shift changes everything. People who expect easy lives break quickly. People who expect challenge become resilient. Every morning, remind yourself. I accept that hardship is part of life. This sentence prepares your spirit. Not with negativity. With realism. And realism creates stability. A person who expects storms builds stronger foundations. A person expecting endless sunshine remains fragile. Look at nature. Trees grow stronger because of resistance. Your mind works the same way. Without hardship, discipline never develops. Without pain, wisdom rarely appears. Without challenge, strength remains dormant. Many people pray for strength while avoiding difficulty. But difficulty is where strength is created. The Stoics knew this. That is why they respected adversity instead of fearing it. Hardship reveals character. When pressure arrives, masks fall. You discover who people truly are. And more importantly, you discover who you are. Every difficult season carries lessons. Patience, humility, discipline, endurance. Pain can either destroy you or train you. The choice depends on your mindset. The sixth line is this: I will guard my thoughts carefully. Your thoughts shape your reality. Not circumstances. Thoughts. Two people can experience the same situation and respond completely differently. Why? Because mindset determines interpretation. The Stoics understood that the mind can become either a prison or a weapon. Most people allow negative thoughts to dominate them daily. I am not enough. I cannot do this. My life is terrible. Everything is against me. And slowly those thoughts become identity. The mind believes repeated language. That is why your morning thoughts matter deeply. Every morning repeat: I will guard my thoughts carefully. Do not allow negativity unlimited access to your mind. Protect your inner world. Because whatever controls your thoughts controls your life. A disciplined mind questions destructive thinking. It does not automatically believe every emotion. This is important. Not every thought deserves your attention. Some thoughts are lies created by fear. Some thoughts are created by insecurity. Some thoughts are created by exhaustion. The Stoic observes thoughts without becoming controlled by them. That skill alone creates emotional stability. Imagine mastering your mind instead of being controlled by it. No longer a victim of every emotional wave. No longer collapsing because of temporary feelings. Only awareness. Only control. Only discipline. Mental strength is built through repetition. Daily repetition. Morning repetition. Your mind becomes whatever you feed consistently. Feed it fear, and fear grows. Feed it discipline, and discipline grows. Feed it clarity, and clarity grows. The final line is this: I will become stronger today. Simple. Powerful. Life is constantly testing you. Every challenge asks one question: will this break you or build you? Most people unconsciously choose weakness daily. They avoid growth opportunities. They surrender to emotions. They quit too early. But the Stoic chooses strength intentionally. Every morning say, I will become stronger today. Not tomorrow. Today. Strength is not built in comfort. It is built through decisions. Small decisions repeated consistently. Getting up early. Staying disciplined. Controlling emotions. Remaining focused. Doing difficult things repeatedly. This is how strong people are created. Not overnight. But daily. One disciplined morning at a time. Imagine repeating these 7 lines every morning for 1 year. Your entire personality would change. Your reactions would change. Your confidence would change. Your focus would change. Your emotional control would change. Because thoughts repeated daily become identity. Most people never train their minds intentionally. That is why they remain mentally weak. But you are different now. You are building inner strength deliberately. The world respects people who master themselves. Because self-mastery is rare. Most people are controlled by impulses. Controlled by fear. Controlled by distraction. Controlled by emotions. The Stoic becomes free through discipline. And that freedom creates power. Real power. Not loud power. Inner power. The kind nobody can take from you. So tomorrow morning, before touching your phone, before listening to noise, before stepping into the chaos of the world, repeat these 7 lines slowly. I control my mind. I do not control the world. Today I will face discomfort willingly. I will not waste energy seeking approval. I will meet every challenge with calmness. I accept that hardship is part of life. I will guard my thoughts carefully. I will become stronger today. Repeat them until they become part of you. Because eventually, your habits shape your destiny. And your mornings shape your habits. Most people underestimate the importance of the morning. They think success begins with talent. Or luck. Or connections. But the Stoics believed something different. They believed the quality of your life depends on the quality of your mind. And your mind is most vulnerable when the day begins. That is why mornings matter so much. When you first wake up, your thoughts are setting the emotional direction for the next 24 hours. One negative thought can poison the day. One disciplined thought can strengthen the day. This is why mentally strong people protect their mornings carefully. They do not wake up and immediately absorb chaos. They do not begin the day scrolling endlessly through negativity. They do not allow random opinions to enter their minds before they establish control over themselves. Instead, they train their minds first. Because if you do not control your mind early, the world will control it for you. And the world is full of distractions. Full of fear. Full of comparison. Full of anger. Full of noise. A Stoic understands this danger. That is why they begin the morning intentionally. Not emotionally. Every day you wake up, there is an invisible battle happening inside you. Discipline against laziness. Focus against distraction. Courage against fear. Wisdom against impulse. And whether you realize it or not, one side is winning. The person you become is shaped by which side you feed daily. Most people strengthen weakness without noticing. They feed distraction constantly. They feed excuses constantly. They feed self-pity constantly. Then they wonder why their lives feel heavy. But the Stoic feeds strength instead. Strength through discipline. Strength through awareness. Strength through repetition. This is why your inner dialogue matters so much. The words you repeat internally become the foundation of your identity. A person who constantly says, "I cannot do this," will eventually believe it completely. A person who constantly says, "I am becoming stronger," will slowly transform into strength. Your brain listens to repetition. That is why these morning lines are powerful. Not because they are magical, but because they reshape thought patterns over time. The human mind adapts to whatever it hears repeatedly. Fear repeated becomes anxiety. Confidence repeated becomes resilience. Weakness repeated becomes identity. Strength repeated becomes character. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Even as emperor, he still reminded himself daily to remain disciplined. Think about that. One of the most powerful men in history still needed mental training. Because no person naturally remains strong forever. Strength must be maintained daily. Just like the body weakens without exercise, the mind weakens without discipline. That is why you cannot rely on motivation alone. Motivation changes constantly. Some mornings you will feel inspired. Other mornings you will feel exhausted. The Stoics did not wait for inspiration. They acted based on principle. That is the difference between temporary success and lasting transformation. Temporary people rely on emotion. Disciplined people rely on structure. A strong morning routine is not about perfection. It is about consistency. Small actions repeated daily create massive changes over time. Imagine two people waking up every day. The first person wakes up complaining immediately. They check their phone instantly. They compare themselves to others. They absorb stress before even leaving bed. Their mind begins the day scattered. Now imagine the second person. They wake up with intention. They breathe deeply. They repeat disciplined thoughts. They prepare mentally for the day ahead. Who do you think handles pressure better? Who do you think remains calmer during adversity? Who do you think builds stronger habits? Your mornings are either strengthening your mind or weakening it. There is no neutral state. Every habit is shaping you. Even the smallest habits matter. The Stoics understood the power of small disciplines. Because small disciplines build self-respect. And self-respect changes everything. A person who keeps promises to themselves becomes confident naturally. Not fake confidence. Real confidence. The kind built through evidence. Evidence that you can trust yourself. Every time you wake up early despite resistance, you build trust in yourself. Every time you remain disciplined despite emotion, you build trust in yourself. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you build trust in yourself. And eventually, that trust becomes inner strength. Most people think confidence comes from external success. The Stoics believed confidence comes from internal control. A person who controls themselves fears very little. Because they know they can endure difficulty. That is true confidence. Not arrogance. Not pride. Stability. Imagine becoming the kind of person who remains calm even during chaos. The kind of person who does not panic easily. The kind of person who handles pressure without collapsing emotionally. That level of control changes your entire life. Relationships improve. Decisions improve. Focus improves. Discipline improves. Because emotional chaos destroys clarity. A distracted mind struggles to build anything meaningful. That is why modern life weakens so many people mentally. Constant stimulation damages attention. People cannot sit quietly anymore. Silence makes them uncomfortable. Stillness makes them anxious. They need endless distraction to escape themselves. But the Stoics practiced silence intentionally. Because silence reveals truth. When the noise disappears, you finally hear your real thoughts. That can be uncomfortable at first. Many people avoid silence because they are afraid of what they will discover internally. But avoiding yourself only increases suffering. The Stoics believed self-awareness was necessary for growth. You cannot improve what you refuse to examine. That is why morning reflection matters. Before the world demands your attention, spend time understanding yourself. Ask yourself questions. What am I allowing to weaken me? What habits are destroying my discipline? What fears are controlling my actions? What distractions are stealing my potential? These questions create awareness. And awareness creates change. Most people live unconsciously. They repeat destructive patterns daily without examining them. Years pass this way. The same excuses. The same fears. The same habits. But the Stoic interrupts unconscious living. They observe themselves carefully. Because mastery begins with awareness. You cannot conquer a mind you refuse to study. This is why journaling was important to many Stoics. Marcus Aurelius wrote thoughts to himself constantly. Not for fame. Not for attention. For self-discipline. His journal became mental training. A way to sharpen his character daily. Imagine if you treated your mornings like training instead of routine. Not just another day. But another opportunity to strengthen your mind. Another opportunity to become calmer. Wiser. More disciplined. More focused. Because every day is shaping you into someone. The question is whether that transformation is intentional or accidental. Most people become products of their environment. The Stoic becomes the architect of their mind. That is real power. The world can influence your circumstances. But only you decide who you become internally. This is why some people survive extreme hardship without losing themselves. And others collapse under minor pressure. Circumstances reveal the condition of the mind. A disciplined mind bends without breaking. An undisciplined mind breaks quickly. That is why inner strength matters more than external appearance. Many people look successful externally while collapsing internally. They have money but no peace. Attention but no stability. Status but no discipline. The Stoics valued inner stability more than public success. Because external success can disappear instantly. But character remains. And character determines how you respond when life becomes difficult. One of the greatest Stoic lessons is this. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your discipline. That is why morning discipline matters deeply. The way you begin the day often predicts the way you handle the rest of it. If you begin with distraction, your focus weakens. If you begin with negativity, your emotions weaken. If you begin with discipline, your mind strengthens. Simple habits shape powerful outcomes. This is why successful people guard their routines carefully. Not because routines are exciting. But because routines build structure. And structure creates consistency. Without structure, emotions take control. And emotions are unreliable leaders. Some days emotions will tell you to quit. Some days emotions will tell you to procrastinate. Some days emotions will tell you to stay weak. The Stoic hears emotion but does not obey automatically. That is the difference. A disciplined person acts according to principle, not temporary feelings. And over time, this creates extraordinary mental strength. Imagine becoming emotionally independent. Not controlled by praise. Not destroyed by criticism. Not defeated by temporary setbacks. Only focused on growth. Only focused on discipline. Only focused on becoming better than yesterday. That mindset changes your future completely. Because the greatest battle you will ever fight is internal. Not against the world. Against yourself. Against your laziness. Against your fear. Against your excuses. Against your impulses. The Stoics knew this battle never fully ends. That is why they trained daily. Not occasionally. Daily. Because self-mastery requires constant effort. And the moment you stop training your mind, weakness slowly returns. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings and your mind wants comfort, remember this. Your future is being shaped in that moment. Every decision matters. Every habit matters. Every thought matters. One disciplined morning may seem small. But repeated over months and years, it transforms identity. This is how powerful people are created. Quietly. Consistently. Through repeated self-control nobody else sees. The world only notices the results later. People see confidence later. They see calmness later. They see strength later. But they do not see the years of mental discipline behind it. The Stoic understands that real growth is invisible at first. Just like roots grow underground before trees rise above the surface. Your discipline is building roots internally. And one day, those roots become unshakable strength. So continue training your mind every morning. Continue choosing discipline over comfort. Continue choosing focus over distraction. Continue choosing growth over excuses. Because eventually, your mind becomes your greatest weapon. And once you master your mind, very little in life can control you anymore. Subscribe to Fortress of Mind and continue building the mindset that separates the disciplined from the distracted. Your strongest self is created one morning at a time.